When will you see these habits, these past traumas, these relationships, these ways of being just as toxic as the things that we know are toxic for our physical body? I'm Patrice Washington, and this is the Redefining Wealth podcast, where authenticity leads to alignment and abundance. Join us each week as we peel back the layers on what wealth truly means and dive into conversations that inspire, connect, and empower you to live your richest life. Get ready to challenge the status quo. It's time to redefine wealth for yourself. You're listening to the Redefining Wealth podcast with Patrice Washington. I am so excited about this day, about this month, about this time. It's all about renewal and refreshing and just entering into a new season. But how many of you know that it doesn't even make sense to try to enter into a new season with outdated thoughts, beliefs, words, actions, habits, all the things? And so if you're brand new here to Redefining Wealth, I know that you may have thought you stumbled upon a finance podcast, and we kind of are, but I really see myself as the bridge between all of the financial and money podcasts you like to listen to and your ability to actually apply those things. It does not make sense to keep listening to career and success and financial podcasts if you're not going to change your beliefs and behaviors so that you can actually hold what you are hearing. And as someone who grew up, I would say pretty churchy, going to church 8 days a week, 25 hours a day, as a young kid in South Central Los Angeles, there is a scripture that I heard often growing up, and maybe you're familiar with it too. It talks about not being conformed to this world, but transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing, you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. It's Romans 12:2. And I think that that is beautiful. And I find in my community now that we have released the pillar assessment, so we thrive on the 6 pillars of wealth. These are all of the parts of your life that are impacting your finances and how you handle and hold them without you even thinking about it. And so last month, I finally released the assessment to the entire community. We've just been using it in the Institute for Redefining Wealth with clients and students there. And I can tell you from reviewing the back end that the number one pillar that so many people say is their top pillar is the faith pillar. However, as someone who is coaching people every single day, one-on-one in groups in the Redefining Wealth app during our lives, I can tell you that people believe that faith is their number one pillar. But when you look at how they view life, when you look at how they make decisions or don't make decisions, when you look at how they pursue their purpose or don't actually pursue their purpose, it will show you what they really believe. And a lot of the actions that we take every day are not actually rooted in faith. They are grounded and anchored in fear. It is the complete opposite of what we say we desire. And if you find yourself being someone who is struggling with making decisions rooted in authenticity, we know how to make decisions when external validation tells us what we should do and what we should want. When we are on social media and there's so much groupthink and we feel like, oh, I have to appear like I'm siding with this person or siding with this group. And even if it doesn't feel aligned for me, I just keep moving in this direction. I don't want to be separated from the tribe. If it is difficult, no matter what you have achieved in your life, for you to make decisions with confidence and clarity and conviction, even when it's unpopular, I want to submit to you that it is time for a soul detox. This is the time of year, because it's my birthday month, that every year I take myself through a process which I call soul detox. And for the last 3 years, I have also been doing this with clients. We have our next soul detox coming up on Friday, March 14th. And this is your invitation to join me. But listen in after the affirmation so you can see if this is something you desire to do, because renewal in this season is going to require that you release some things that are not serving you. And that means, my friend, you may need a detox. So stay tuned. My soul deserves peace. For too long, I have allowed the distractions of life and the opinions of others to dictate my path. I've chosen beliefs, ideals, relationships, careers, and more that align more with what was expected of me than what my own soul was requesting of me. Today, I am choosing to align my actions with my soul's desires and to recognize what those are authentically. I choose to detox, release, reset, and refresh my mind, body, and spirit so my soul can experience the acknowledgement it deserves. Declare with me today, my soul deserves peace. Okay, what I have learned over these years is that when it comes to the idea of a physical detox, when we want to renew our bodies, when we want to release weight, when we want to become stronger, many of us understand the idea of a detox. We just see it when it comes to our physical bodies. And a detox is basically about abstaining from toxic or unhealthy substances. So sometimes my friends and I do dry July where we won't drink any alcohol at all. I've done it before and it actually turned into dry 3 months, like a dry 90 days. Or when I've done different fitness challenges, like a hard body challenge at the gym I went to in California, you have to detox. You take supplements. We used to take a supplement called D-Herbs where it's a full body detox and you expect to release all of the toxins and all of the unhealthy substances from your body. How do you know when you need a physical detox? How do you know when you're ready for that? Well, maybe you've gained some weight that you don't feel like you can lose. Maybe you feel generally tired or fatigued all the time. You go to sleep and you wake up not refreshed, not rejuvenated, not renewed at all. Maybe you can't even get a full night's sleep at this point. You toss and turn, or you struggle and battle with insomnia. Maybe you just kind of have irregular bowel movements even. Let's get into it. This is all fit pillar stuff, right? Or you don't feel good emotionally. You constantly feel that brain fog, or you just feel like, man, something is not right. Something is off. Something is misaligned. Oftentimes we can embrace when it's time to do a physical detox because the symptoms of our life just do not add up to the vitality that we desire. But what about when those symptoms can be so closely connected to our soul and how we show up in life? Because I believe that a soul detox is simply the process of cleansing your mind and your spirit of toxic beliefs and patterns and paradigms that cloud our judgment. They hinder our growth, our ability to see brighter perspective, much like how a physical detox is needed to cleanse the body. I believe that there's a very close connection between a lot of what we feel in our physical bodies. And I've said this over and over again. Sometimes the exhaustion and the clutter that we deal with in our mind and the indecisiveness is not so much about needing the physical detox. It's that no one has taught us how to do a soul detox. This is removing the psychological clutter. This is about removing the spiritual stagnation. That is your signal for if you need a detox. But let's connect the two. I would say that if we're going to renew our minds and renew a sense of what's available to us in this season, especially when we're in a season where the world is so cluttered and fighting to get you off of your vision. They are clamoring to clutter up your mind, body, spirit, your time, your energy with all types of things. We won't even get into regional news, national news, global news. There is so much fighting to drag you down that if you do not go through a soul detox, you won't know how to withstand this season. This is about making sure that you prepare your mind, body, and spirit to make it through this season. So let's connect some of the pieces of a physical detox to a soul detox. So I already said maybe you've gained weight that you're unable to lose. Well, how much baggage have you taken on in the last year, 3 years, 10 years that was never yours to hold? Some of us have been carrying around the weight of other people's lack of planning, poor decision making, indecisiveness, and we have centered ourselves as their savior, as the one who needs to be there to carry the weight for them. This could be grown children. It could be siblings that you love. It could be anyone, family or friends, where you have been putting on all of their stuff for years and don't even realize that it's time for you to take a detox from that. And it's not just the habit or behavior. It is the belief that you even need to do that in order to maintain their love, in order to continue to control them. Whatever the thing is, whatever the pattern and the paradigm is, you are carrying more than physical weight. Energetically, you are carrying on weight. Some of us are carrying the weight of other people's labels, ideas, thoughts, opinions, dreams, goals for us. Some of us are carrying around the weight of trying to live up to other people's expectations. And that is a weight that we need to detox from. I said, maybe you feel generally tired or fatigued. Okay. I believe that many times we're not even physically tired. It's just that our souls are exhausted from not being heard. We have lost the ability to hear our own internal desires. We have lost the ability to believe in our own intuition. Most of us have been taught to demonize internal intuition and prioritize external information. So the only way we believe we should do something for ourselves, choose our next best step, is if it is confirmed by all types of people outside of us. Your soul is fatigued from being ignored. Most of us know when we have the nudge that says, don't go that way. It's time to shift. You better get out of here. This relationship is not for you. These people going to wear you out. This is going to burn you out. We hear it. We know it. It is a whisper. Our soul whispers and calls to us and begs us to do something different. And most of us will not listen. We will not take heed. We will not awaken to that whisper until we have experienced what I call the boulder effect. Something big and huge, the weight of something literally has to fall on us. Most of us don't do anything until we get the diagnosis, until we receive the divorce papers or file for them, until someone important to us meets their demise. We don't do anything. When you experience a soul detox, the point of that is to teach you how to listen to your own soul, to trust your own thoughts, to have convictions about the decisions that you make, whether other people agree with them or not. Because so much of the best of what I've personally experienced in my life has come from me honoring my own soul. But I had to unlearn a lot of what had been fed to me in different places, which just says everyone else outside of you knows what's best for you. With the physical detox, we talked about not having a full night's sleep. Maybe you feel restless all the time. When it comes to the soul detox, maybe you can't make decisive choices. When it's time to make a decision, you are literally up, constantly tossing and turning. When it's time to move forward with a decision, you are straddling the fence. The idea of being able to surrender literally escapes you. There is no surrender. There is just holding on very tightly to old labels, old ideas, old thoughts, old beliefs, old patterns, saying one thing, saying that you want something different, but so tightly holding on with two hands to the things that you say do not serve you anymore? How could you expect to have rest and to experience peace when you are basically living a double-minded life? We are saying one thing and completely choosing actions, choosing partnerships, choosing circumstances, choosing experiences that completely go against that. I remember Lisa Nichols used to say, the tongue in your mouth and the tongue in your shoe are not going in the same direction. So of course, it's a struggle to sleep at night. Of course, you have a problem resting. Of course, you're not experiencing peace in this season. But this entire journey of redefining wealth is about you being able to live a life rooted in your values. So if you say that your values are peace, are joy, are fulfillment, it's all about confidence and it's about authenticity, but you keep choosing something different, that is a sign of perhaps being a public success, but privately knowing that you're not living in the values and what you say is important to you. So your soul can't rest at night. You know, we've talked about with the physical detox, maybe the bowel movements are irregular. I've shared this before in, I think, the Redefining Wealth app or with one of my communities. And this might gross you out. I don't know. But I believe in colonics and I do a colonic every month, sometimes twice a month. And not because I'm not regular. I see it as a ritual of release. I see it literally as a ritual of release. It's a reminder to me that there is always a process for letting go. And sometimes you can actually see it physically, but I like seeing it physically because it's a reminder of what I want to do consistently and regularly with myself emotionally, spiritually, energetically. Even when we talk about the space pillar, in my physical space, I'm always going through eliminating waste from my life and wanting to name it, claim it, and do it quickly. Some of us are holding so much in our bodies, not just the physical waste, but the energy of things that we don't even desire anymore. Some of us don't even realize all of the things that we are holding in our physical space that represents times in our lives that were not our happiest, but yet we hold on. I have coach clients that have told me, oh, I still have all of my ex's things in my attic. Why? Why? Even hidden clutter is still clutter. You have to have a process for how you eliminate waste for your life, for how you get things that do not allow you to vibrate at the highest energy out of your atmosphere, out of your environment. You need a soul detox. You need to be reminded on how to be willing to lose those things, the emotional attachments to it, the normalcy that we have put on having certain things in our space that suck up our energy. You need a soul detox. Okay, so I have to ask, when was the last time you truly prioritized your peace, your purpose, and your prosperity without the guilt? Most people wait until life forces them to slow down. But what if you could be proactive about seeking out your own transformation? Exactly why I created Redefining Wealth Live, and this is our 3rd year strong. This is a space where high achievers can step away from the distractions of the world and get super clear on their vision, faith, and financial well-being. And this year, for the first time ever, we are making it more accessible than we ever have. Redefining Wealth Live 2025 is a hybrid event. And that means if you want to be in the room for a powerful, intimate, in-person experience, you can do that. And if you need to join from anywhere in the world, you can do that too. But here's the catch. Only waitlist members get first access when tickets drop. Room is going to be very limited, very exclusive, and a deep experience. So only 44 people can go. If you already know you need to be in this space, then do not wait. Go to redefiningwealthlive.com right now and join the waitlist so you don't miss out. Trust me, these tickets will sell out. So go now, redefiningwealthlive.com, and I will see you in September. Lastly, if you just don't feel good emotionally, you feel all over the place, you're constantly on an emotional roller coaster, there's a lot of things going on inside of you that are constantly at war and conflict. You need a soul detox. And I believe that a lot of us overlook these things in favor of self-awareness. In order to renew your mind, you cannot just be centering everything that you do around self-awareness. Self-awareness is the what. Soul awareness is how you own it. It's one thing to know something about yourself. It's another thing to know when you remove all of the external validation and all of the external references and all of the external definitions of wealth and joy and peace and love and what you should want. When you remove all of that, what genuinely does your soul desire? And are you ready to own that, to be 10 toes down for that, no matter what other people think? This is the clarity and the conviction that a soul detox will move you to. Because many of us overlook this work in the world of personal development and personal transformation. And we think it's just about doing the busy work and the self-care practices, and all of those things are important. But ultimately, in order to renew your mind, you have got to release these persistent negative thoughts, these feelings of being stuck all the time, no matter how brilliant you are, the unexplained fatigue. All of these things point to the fact that something deeper is needed. And there's so many different ways for us to explore and experience release. Some of us are still holding on to past hurts. It is time for us to forgive people who will never say, I'm sorry. Some of us are still, like I said, clinging to the control we think we have instead of surrendering people, surrendering things, surrendering old ideas that don't serve us. Some of us have to uncrown the circumstance, which is a term I learned from a Bob Proctor teaching. And I did a daily live on this in the Redefining Wealth app. Many of us crown our circumstances as the authority, as the end all be all. For those of you who consider yourselves to be believers of Christ, many of us will crown the circumstance as the authority when saying that we believe in Christ. And if you believe in Christ and that Christ has your back, how could the circumstance, how could the bank balance, how could the rocky relationship, how could the challenges at work be getting all of your attention? Because you haven't done a soul detox. So you don't quite know yet where the true power and authority lies. You're allowing yourself to be cluttered in all of the 6 pillars, or at least a good combination of them. And what has Albert Einstein taught us? So many things. But the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. When we are trapped in these patterns, it tells us that there is a paradigm that is in direct conflict with what we say we want that must be released. Deepak Chopra says, in the process of letting go, you will lose many things from the past, but you will find yourself. In the process of letting go, you will lose many things from the past, but you will find yourself. And I think that sometimes we don't want to do this work because we want to hold on and keep that old mind that created all these results that we have said and we complain about and we talk about over and over again that don't serve us. Then when are you going to do something different? When will you do something different? When will you see these habits, these past traumas, these relationships, these ways of being just as toxic as the things that we know are toxic for our physical body? When will you see that it is just as detrimental to who you are, to what you've been called to do, to the purpose you've been assigned to the vision that you say you have? We have some releasing to do if we're going to renew our minds and be prepared for this season, for such a time as this. There is too much going on in the world for us to add our own internal clutter to all of the noise. If there's anything that we can control, it is what we are putting in our minds, in our mouths, in our ears, with our eyes, like controlling everything that we take in. We have to release some stuff if we're truly going to be refreshed and renewed and prepared for this season. So my prayer really is that you will join me at Soul Detox this year. This one feels more important than the last 3 I've done. And I take every single one seriously. And again, this is a process I've taken myself through for years. And then it occurred to me a few years ago that maybe I could open it up to others. Maybe I should. This is my annual practice, although I'm thinking about these things all throughout the year. Annually, I do a deep dive, and now we can do this together. And it's free. Of course, if you want to upgrade to the VIP portion, you certainly can, but it is free. And I believe that doing these soul detoxes are what allowed me to be radically honest. The day that my coach said, what would you be willing to lose to have everything you believe God has called you to? I could hear the answer, even though initially I wasn't ready to receive it. I wasn't ready to act on it. It did still take me some months, but I believe that many people, it takes years, decades, if not more, if they do anything at all. A soul detox can better connect you with that internal wisdom, that divine guidance. It gives you more conviction, clearer decision making, a stronger sense of purpose. If you don't feel like you can make your decisions with confidence and conviction, it could be that your life and your soul are too cluttered for you to hear God for yourself. And there are some people who benefit from you not being able to hear what is next and best for you for yourself. There are some people who have banked on you being blocked. They've banked on you not being able to discern things for yourself. They have banked on you not knowing truly what your soul desires. They have banked on you believing that you are less brilliant than you actually are. And if we are going to shift that, if we are going to actually enter this season with that confidence and conviction that I talked about, if we're going to actually navigate life with the faith that we portray ourselves to have, then a soul detox is necessary. It is a necessary part of your transformation, and I would be so honored to guide you through that. So again, Soul Detox this year for 2025 is happening March 14th at 12 p.m. Eastern. We will be together for 3 hours. If you could block that time, do it. In true Patrice Washington form, we are going to get together with community. So we will have purpose chasers there from all over the world, as we always do. And a big, beautiful piece of anytime you get together in a space with me is the wisdom circles. We break out and have deeper conversation in smaller, intimate spaces. Yes, even over Zoom. It is so transformative. When you go to the page, patricewashington.com/soul detox, you will see feedback from so many people who have attended a soul detox, and hopefully it'll inspire you to take the time for yourself to come and get clear, get unblocked, become radically honest, choose your next best step, and have the confidence to go and do the things. This is going to be beautiful. It is the eve of my birthday, March 15th. And of course, you've heard already, the Redefining Wealth Live 2025 tickets go on sale March 25th in honor of National Redefining Wealth Day here in the US. So there will be a great time of celebrating. I hope that you will join us. And I just want you to remember, listen, if you can see the benefit in having a physical detox, if you can see the benefit for your mind and your body, I want you to see the same benefit with having a soul detox. Your spirit needs this. Your energy needs this. Your environment needs this. Your relationships need this. You need this in order to truly move forward in any climate, in any season, with what you are authentically being called to do. But how can you do that when you can't hear your own thoughts? When you are tossing and turning every night with, what should I do? when you are carrying the weight of other people's expectations and also carrying the weight of other people you have trained to need you in order for them to live their own lives. There is so much that we need to unbox, to declutter, to detox. And I am so excited to support you in that process. So again, I hope you join me on March 14th. Listen, come into the Redefining Wealth app where we are talking all month about being ready to release to receive. This entire month is dedicated to the renewing of your mind and making sure that you are prepared to withstand and outlast all that is up ahead. This year, these next few years, it is important that you have the language and the practices and the tools and the resources and the community to get through this. Not just get through this, to thrive, even in a season like this. So I hope you join me there. It's been my honor and pleasure to serve you today, and I'll be back next week. So until then, I want you to go live your life's purpose, find fulfillment, and earn more without ever feeling like you have to chase money. I'll talk to you later.